Hey guys, it's Aislinn, and in today's video we are going to be touching up my rainbow color. I've never done a video where I do the same rainbow pattern 2 times in a row, so I really wanted to show you guys how I would touch up my rainbow hair if I wanted to keep it long term. I get so many questions saying like, how are you going to touch that up? Or it'll look good for the first wash and then after that it's going to get all muddy. Well, it doesn't get muddy because I use cold water and I use sulfate-free shampoo, but also you can touch up your rainbow hair and it's fairly easy to just resection everything off and touch up the color. As you can see, my hair color is very faded. It looks like it's just blonde, but if I pull apart my hair through here, you can see there is still color in each section that I'm going to be applying. I do have to be careful with where I'm sectioning my hair to make sure it lines up with where the old color was. So as you can see here, I have pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and when I pull these apart, you can see the banding a lot more of where the color was. It does make it a little bit easier if your hair is faded out. That way, if you do take a little piece from a different colored section and accidentally add it into a different one, it's not as noticeable. So we're going to be doing the exact same thing as the last video, but I wanted to really show you guys how I would section my hair for a rainbow retouch. So ideally, my hair would still be bright right now and I would just have roots that were bleached out to here. So I'm going to show you how you would just touch up your roots as they grow in. When I notice my roots starting to come in a lot, I will switch my shampoo to a clarifying shampoo or an anti-dandruff shampoo to help strip out color, and then I also switch over to hot water. Doing those two things will strip out your color way faster, and I start washing my hair every day to try and strip out the color because again, it is easier to retouch color if it's faded. So I would recommend starting to fade your color before you decide you want to refreshen it. I've already mixed up all of my colors. I decided not to mix them up while we were filming because it's literally the same exact colors that I've used time and time again. I am using all Arctic Fox hair color and I recently got a discount code with them. It is just Aislinn10 and you'll get 10% off your order. I will leave a link to Arctic Fox's website along with my coupon code in the description down below. So if you want to know exactly what shades I'm using, I will leave a link to my previous rainbow hair video right up here for you. You can go click on that and see what shades I mixed together to create this. I'm going to start by sectioning my hair, and this part I'm going to break down with you guys a little bit more so you get the hang of exactly how I do it. I like to use these like pin curl clips. They're very thin. The name of these is Mariana, and these are double prong curl clips. And I just like these because they're small and they hold the sections really well and they're metal so you can clean them off really easily. And then I like to use a foiling comb to section my hair. Having something that is narrow and has a tip will help you section your hair and get like more accurate and precise sections. So I'm going to look at the previous sections where I've colored. I can kind of see where the previous color was. So I'm going to stick to that general area. You can kind of see my hair do a little split right here, and that's exactly where I took my last sectioning. I'm just gonna add that in, and then I can see there's a little bit right here, so I need to go back just a tiny bit more. Now last time I took my sectioning all the way down here and included all of this stuff in the front bang piece, but I decided this time I don't want to add all of this in because it's just short, like broken pieces. And also it'll make it way easier when I'm applying color to just do a foil right here and not have to worry about doing a foil right here and 2 foils on the side. Once you have one side done, you can just mirror it on the other side. So you can just bring your comb across where the sectioning is and just section that out. So these are the 2 front pieces. So I will just clip these up. Now that we have this part done, this part over here, I take a little bit of an angle at. So when I'm looking at where the old color was, I'm going to try and follow that. And I go back a little bit at more of a diagonal. So as you can see with the sectioning, it's not straight down. It's kind of more at a diagonal back. If you want the lines to be even more diffused, you can take more of a diagonal so that way when it falls down, it's more blended. Versus if you take a section straight down, it's going to be more of like a striped look. Another thing you can do to make it more blended is take a zigzag pattern. But if you do that, next time you go to touch up your color, it's going to be a lot more difficult to recreate those zigzag patterns. So I normally just like to stick to a slight diagonal back. And once I have this part sectioned out, I can see if there's any more pink in here that I missed and I need to bring forward, or if this section is good. And I do need to bring a little bit more forward just in this area right here. So that is good for this section, so I'll go ahead and clip that off. Again, it makes it way easier once you have this section done to just follow it across right here and then just section this side out. So once you have one side done, the other side is pretty much done for you. You just line it up and go across. I have everything sectioned off. I think that you guys can probably tell the colors are in the sections that they were previously in before. I'm gonna go ahead and start applying the color. I do have a mirror behind me so I can see the back of my head. I also have a mirror in front of me, and I have a towel on my lap because in between each color, I wipe my hands on the towel so that way I don't have to change my gloves in between every single color. So I'm gonna start applying. I'm probably not gonna talk a lot. Unfortunately, it takes all of my concentration to be able to dye my hair. So I'll probably time lapse this or I will talk over it. Let's get this started. So I am going to be giving you guys some tips in here. A lot of these tips I've already gone over in my last rainbow hair video, but in case you haven't seen that, I'll just go ahead and repeat them here. So as you see, I am applying the color starting in the back of this section. If I would have started applying the pink around my hairline first, which you see me doing right now, and I would have laid that down, it would have gotten on that blonde section that I have sectioned out above my forehead. So whenever I'm applying color, I'm thinking about how that section is going to be laying down and if it's going to transfer on a lighter color. Here is a perfect example of what I was just talking about when I'm applying the color, making sure to apply it to the areas that could easily be transferred on one another. So I'm applying the yellow closest to the orange section because when I go to apply the yellow to the back of that section, the yellow part is going to be laying on top of the orange. And if I had applied the yellow to the back of the section and laid that piece forward, like right here, the orange would have gotten on the blonde and then I wouldn't have been able to put the yellow on top, or it would have been spotty. So since I already have laid the yellow down and then put it on top of the orange section, it's not going to transfer. The yellow kind of creates a barrier so that way the orange doesn't transfer onto the lighter section. Here's another example. I'm applying the green to the back of the section first because if I would have applied it to the front of this section and then laid it forward on top of the yellow, the green would have gotten all over the yellow piece. So I'm being smart about how I'm applying the color so that way it's not transferring on the lighter colors or on the blonde pieces. Another thing I want to mention is here on this section you can see that I've split it into two different pieces. So I start with the lower section and saturate that, and then I switch to the top portion of that section and make sure that area is really saturated. If I started on this top section right here and then laid it down, it would have overlapped on the bottom section. So I'm trying to work smart and make it easier for myself, starting at the bottom of my hair and then going to the top section, and then once I'm done with both sections, I work everything together all as one. As you guys know, when I sectioned my hair earlier, I used those small metal clips to make sure I get precise small sections. But as I'm dyeing my hair, I also have these really large pink alligator clips. And basically what I do is I pull down the individual section I'm getting ready to dye that's in that metal clip. And then I take all of the other sections and pull it to the back of my head. And I use that alligator clip to get all of the other sections and the blonde pieces out of the way. So that way it's easier for me to just focus on those one individual sections I have down. When I start applying color to this front section, I like to put aluminum foil on the other parts of my hair that already have color on, so that way when I am taking the blonde pieces and putting them out of the way, I'm not going to transfer all the other color onto those blonde pieces. As you can see, I start by just applying the colors on each individual small section, and then once I'm done applying the color, I'll go back in with my finger and just blend all of the sections together. If you don't blend everything together, then it's going to be very blotchy and there's going to be harsh lines. So I just go in with my finger and try and blend everything and like ombre it in a little bit better. Also, taking really small sections when you're doing this part helps a lot. If you take too thick of a section, it's not going to saturate and you're going to have some blonde pieces peeking through once you rinse out the color. Okay, I'm back. That took forever. I haven't eaten today and it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm having cramps really bad, so I really need to go eat and take some medicine and just chill out for a while. This is how everything is looking. It looks really good, and this time I did do these front two sections a little bit different. So I started with purple up here because I had about this much of new growth that I had bleached. As your roots grow in, you should have them grow in enough to where you can put a new color there. So like next time it'll be blue and then the next time it'll be green until the pattern eventually repeats itself. I'm gonna let this sit for a couple hours. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, I'm back. It is the next day and here is how my hair turned out. I love the colors this time. I shifted the pink just a tiny bit more to make it darker. Same thing with the orange because I felt like last time those colors were too similar. So I changed them a tiny bit, just made them a little bit darker. I love the way that everything turned out. All the colors are perfect. I also was unsure about this shadow root I did on the front two pieces, but now seeing it styled, I really like it because last time I felt like because it started with pink, there was way too much pink right here. It was a big block until all the other colors started. So I wanted to bring the purple in a little bit to give it a little bit of depth so that way it separates this pink from this pink. I really like the way that that turned out and the way that it looks. It just separates these front two pieces a little bit more. Let me turn around and show you what the back looks like. Again, I will leave a link to Arctic Fox and Makeup a Murder in the description down below in case you are interested in picking up any of these shades. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description down below. I post way more of my everyday life on there. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much. And until next time, guys, stay weird.